Welcome back, random person, to the third installment of my Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. Okay, today we're going to do something that depends on what kind of contracts we get. It's kind of annoying when you don't get good contracts. It makes kind of boring videos. Right. Anyways, I asked in the comments, not contracts, talk about contracts, about spacecraft names and if you wanted to see the building process of my rockets. And yeah, I didn't get a great response on that, so I'll ask you to do that again this episode. Anyways, gonna look at this. Yeah, so we're gonna use that very handy warp to next morning button. And then we'll go back into here, see if there's any better contracts. Okay, let's see about these VIPs. That might be a viable contract. Might be. It depends. I think I got a new cockpit. If I did, we can start doing tourist stuff. Yes, we did. Okay, so we can make a tourist rocket now. That'll be great. You can make a ton of money off of tourism. So I'm going to see what kind of tourist contracts we can get. Okay. This one's decent. It's not the best. Hang on, let me check this one. No, that one's not so good. Yeah, okay. This is the best one in our options. There is a better version of it, but it'll work. So we are going to make a tourist rocket now. I just call it like Tour 1 or something like that. That's what I did in my previous save. On this one, I will try the airplane design of a rocket, I think. I might be able to do that. I might have the parts. Okay, so this is going to be for the pilot, like Jeb or Valentina, and then that'll be for one of the tourists. The flag's really big on that. And this will be for the second tourist, because we can't really squeeze them in there any better way. So there'll be 3 Kerbals on board. This is heavy, so we're going to get rid of all the monopropellant, because that's just wasted fuel. Let me just check. Yep, nothing in there, except for that thing. Okay. I'm going to turn off the torque, which is the reaction wheels that I explained on that one. Oh, whoops, that's flag. I want torque. There. Yeah, if you have it in multiple cockpits, they'll conflict with each other and take away extra power. And because we don't have solar panels, losing power is bad. We don't want to lose any more electricity than we already lose. We can turn them on if we need them, though. Okay. So then we're going to take this. Yeah, that's a good tank. And then the Vista again. Alright, I'm going to take this. Well, okay. There's a small bug in the game. So I'm going to save this and then exit. And I have a reason for this. You can't make an airplane in here, in the VAB, due to a small glitch with the indicators of center of mass and center of lift. And those are very important for building a plane, because without those, it'll be off balance. Now, where did it go? Oh no. There it is. It's way up there. Okay. There. Now we have it. So this is the space plane hangar. This is where we build airplanes. Okay. So I'm going to try to get that in the center because we want the camera centered. Okay. So this is how it's going to be flying through the atmosphere when it's landing. So we want to put control surfaces on it. So we'll put a set of wings there, and a set of wings like up here. Now the problem with this, in Kerbal it would work, but the air coming off of this wing would hit this, and when the air is undisturbed coming over this wing, it makes good lift, and it'll lift the spacecraft up. But when it hits this one, it's messed up and wiggling around like this, and has vortexes because of just the way that lift works. And it would hit this wing, and this wing would not be as efficient. It would have just as much drag, but create less lift, which is what we don't want. So what I'm going to do is bring them up and put them like that. Yes, it's not necessary, but it's for my own sanity. And there. Now that will significantly help that issue, if it were to be real. Okay, and then we'll put a fin. Oh, do we have landing gear? No, we do not. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that issue. So I'm just going to turn the fins on to symmetry, and then press R, and that'll switch the symmetry mode. Now we're on the mode for that. Now we're going to set what each fin does. So this fin is going to be yaw, which is left and right, and that's all we want it to do. Okay, this fin is going to be pitch, and that's up and down, and pitch only. This one, actually, I'm trying to decide which one's roll. These ones can do roll. That'll be okay. Yeah, that'll work. Now I'm going to check the center of mass and center of lift. You want the center of lift behind the center of mass. That is very important. And when we land, we will burn fuel like that. Now, we want it to be able to be controllable, so we don't want them too far away from each other, even though it's behind. And when this thing lands, it'll be much lower on fuel. So when we do that, yes, it's off balance now, but once it's burned through all its fuel, it'll be great. Hang on, I'm going to drain the fuel again, because I need to see where to place the parachutes. Because we don't have wheels, we're going to land on parachutes. I'm going to press R again to change the symmetry mode back to where I want it. So we're going to put parachutes there, and there. That'll work. And then we'll separate them because we don't want them all going at once. That should be good, because each one of these cockpits holds 50 units of electric charge. So that makes it so we don't really need batteries. We're only using one of theirs for gyroscopes, so that's good. Alright, we're going to click Save, and then we're going to go back to the VAB. And then we'll hit the tab at the top of the menu for loading a craft. And we'll go to the spaceplane hangar one. And then we'll be good. So we'll go to spaceplane hangar and grab that. Okay, and there it is. So we'll just grab it and pull it up like this. Now the problem with this is when we launch it, it will have issues, so we'll have to put wings at the bottom of the rocket to keep it straight. Now this costs a lot, but the advantage of this being a plane is we get all that money back. So, yeah. Okay. Anyways, so I'm going to put a decoupler. We don't want those together in the same stage. And if we have these ullage motors, that's, I think, how they're pronounced. No, we don't. Okay. I like to put little engines on the side and then use those to boost myself up. But yeah, don't have those. So we're going to do the fuel tank, another fuel tank. 3 of them will probably be good. Hopefully. Anyways, as I'm building this, I'll talk about something interesting. So, in like the 1950s, I'm pretty sure, NASA had a wonderful idea, and that is sarcasm, because, well, you should be able to notice that. But I'm bad at noticing sarcasm, so I'm going to point out my own. That way you don't make the same mistakes I do, which is great for you. Makes me look dumb. And then we're going to use these solar. But anyways, NASA proposed a mission called the Orion mission. And this could put people on Mars in just like 90 days. It was quite impressive. The way they did it was they put something similar to a heat shield on the bottom of a rocket. And then they would use something similar to the mechanism inside a vending machine to vend out nuclear bombs and detonate them behind the rocket. The explosion would then push the rocket forward. And somehow that was a good idea. It worked in small scale, but people had concerns about putting nuclear bombs on a rocket. There's good reason for being concerned about that, so it never happened. But NASA actually made a contract with the Coca-Cola company to help them with their device that would vend out the nuclear bombs, because they were so good at vending machines. I'm checking the staging. Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, that was quite interesting. I think Valentina has the right to do this now. And we'll take our 2 tourists. Oh, it's all women. That's great. Which is fun. Oh yes, and the fins that I mentioned. We need those or the rocket will flip out of control, which would be bad, because then we lose all the money. I could just revert the flight, but that's kind of cheating. I'm hesitant to do that. Alright, now we should be good. Okay, we'll save that. And this should be able to get into orbit. If it can't, that would suck. But I think it should. It's similar to my last design. Oh. Okay, I forgot something important. Remember how I drained those fuel tanks to test the center of mass things? I never put it back. That's important, to have all that fuel. You know what? I want to add something. I want another stage. I just don't trust this. So I'm going to put this, get a thrust limiter, give it a decoupler, because why not? We can do it, so there's no point in not doing it, right? No. Just because you can something doesn't always mean you should. But in this case, having a solid rocket booster, they're lightweight. I never mentioned that as one of their perks. They're very lightweight, I think. Yeah, they're pretty light. Because you don't have to deal with all the mechanisms of a liquid engine. So that's like free extra energy. Oh, whoops. Didn't turn that off. There. And then the staging gets messed up, as always. It's kind of annoying. And that'll decouple, and that'll go. Yeah. And the fuel's in there. Good. Alright, we can go now. So then we'll launch this. Alright, so my mic has not arrived yet in the mail, as I've been talking about. So I still have to record on the same echoey, annoying setup that you all hate. I'm so sorry. It should be here by the next recording. I sure hope it is. What are those things? I've never noticed those before. Those are weird. Anyways, so we'll just hit spacebar. That is very loud on my end. And then I will hit F2 to get rid of all that and get a screenshot for my thumbnail. Okay. Okay. Let's see the rocket's going now. And we've got to turn up on the side slightly. Now I'm going to throttle back slightly because the solid rocket boosters are now drained. We've drained enough fuel that the solid rocket booster's thrust is now sufficient to lift the rocket on its own. And the main engine is barely necessary. Oh. Look at that wobbling. That's not good. I'm going to turn off the sickness avoidance system. I need to fly this thing manually. Okay, nope, that's not good. Oh, yeah. Okay, we are definitely reverting the flight. Okay, so we don't have struts. I wish we had struts. That's very bad. Okay, I'm going to see if we can possibly unlock struts. Because we need struts. That's not... I picked the wrong building. Of course I did. I always do stupid things like that. Alright. That's struts. Ooh. We need like 15 science to get that. Okay, we're going to have to make do without struts. That'll be interesting. Okay. So, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. This is going to be kind of hard. Yeah, I don't have many ideas. I guess we'll have to remove that. That's just a weak point. The less joints, the better. I guess we'll go with our old design. Just because it has less joints. And that means less wobbling. And in case you didn't notice, it's impossible to steer when it's wobbling. It's just impossible. No matter how hard you try, it will not steer. Because it'll overcompensate. You know, I'm going to turn off the torque. Oh wait, that won't help. If I do control from here, though, that should help with the issue. Because then there's less wobbling. It'll overcompensate because it's making judgments based on the readings from this cockpit. But of course it's controlling fins all the way down here. So it has issues naturally. Okay. So we'll throttle up to maximum and go again. I guess I'm getting a new screenshot because we don't want to have inconsistencies. Wouldn't it stink to have something on thumbnail and you expected to have that in the video and then it wasn't there? Yeah, because we removed that solid rocket booster. It would look different. And that would be annoying. So yeah. as I think I told you, I'm going to Canada soon, which means you will go a week without videos coming up here. In about, I'm leaving a week from yesterday, so 6 days. So you'll have to go about 5 days without videos. Alberta area in Canada is going to go. Okay. Maybe I can just not touch it too much. And then just hit that. No, that's not going to work. Okay, if I can get rid of these solid rocket boosters, that'll help. That'll make the craft much more controllable. I'm just gonna really try hard here, but this is gonna be difficult. Yeah, this is... I'm sorry if I'm not talking too much, but I've got to focus on this. This is difficult when it wobbles like crazy every time you touch the controls. And then you have to touch it, otherwise it won't steer. We are not flying in ideal situations. Look at our tourists, they're so scared. Valentina, of course, is loving every second of it. Look at her. She makes me laugh too, just like Jeb. They're pretty similar. Oh, lag. Okay, I'm gonna look away from the Space Center, and that will improve frame rate. Because then it doesn't have to load in the stuff from the Space Center. Then recording doesn't help with frame rate either. And those solid rocket boosters are gonna run out soon. A few units of fuel left in them. It's a little... Yeah, we definitely need to get rid of those solid rocket boosters. They're causing a lot of lag. I'm sorry, the game's running much slower than usual. You can see our clock up here. It's running good. Okay, now we're running at regular speed again. There we go. Then we'll throttle up that. Now the wobbling's gone, because we're not going at such a ridiculous amount of thrust. I've got to check the map view. Oh yeah, we're going high. I'm going to turn over on our side and throttle back. And we want to be going on the 90-degree line. And the reason we always go to the east is because the planet is turning to the east, like this. And that basically sets you up with an extra 150 so meters per second of extra speed that you don't have to burn. So it takes about 300 meters per second of delta V extra to go into orbit in that direction. If that makes sense. Because in orbit, as it is free-falling, it doesn't matter that the thing below you is spinning, so that spinning can help you if you let it. Then there's polar orbits, and those are crazy and hard. Sometimes they'll want you to do contracts in polar orbits, and that's when the orbit's going around the planet like this, instead of like this. Okay, there's that glitch. Yeah, I love these KW Rocketry engines, they just look so nice. And with the real Plume mod, it just makes everything look really good. It wouldn't look this good in the default game. Actually, it wouldn't exist because we're using modded parts, these fuel tanks and engines. But, hey, I really like it, this mod. Okay, we need to pitch up some and go to full power because we're not going to go to space if we don't do that. Now we're really going up. Yeah. Okay, that should make it to space. Should. We know how well shoulds work. Okay, we'll hit that, and then that. And off we go. Pushing that up. So our highest point goes up as we go up. Hopefully we can gain enough speed. But due to the wobbling, we couldn't really pick up a lot of lateral velocity. That's sideways speed. It's going to be very difficult to make it to orbit. Hopefully we can do it. Because then I'd lose money. Again, I could revert, but that's cheating. I think I'll make it. I hope. That would be very embarrassing if I didn't. This engine's not super powerful, so that doesn't help things. But yeah. We don't want to start going down too much. Then it would be very hard to get into orbit. As soon as you go past your highest point, you start losing efficiency. So yeah, you don't want to go past it too much. Alright, now I'm going to start throttling back. Yeah, we're definitely making it to orbit. Good. We have a lowest point now. but it is inside the atmosphere, so kind of useless to us. There. So we've got a little bit of fuel left. It won't be much, but it'll be some. Anyways, okay, I'm looking at my list now. Couldn't think of very much to put on there. But yeah, hopefully our tourists will be pleased with our space agency. It'll get us a lot of reputation if they're all saying great things about us. However, I don't want to become a tourist agency. There are companies on Earth kind of like that. Like, there's one company, they have a spacecraft they call Spaceship One, and it recently crashed. I'm not sure if anyone was on board, but they may have been. I'm going to show you the inside view of these cockpits. They are amazing. So if you double-click on a window, you can actually look around. There's our Kerbal's face right there. And she can look over her shoulder around the planet. Jebediah's also got a pretty good view. Let's see what I'm sorry, not Jebediah, Valentina. And she's got a pretty nice cockpit. Oh, I can't use that window. Some windows you can't double-click on, which is too bad. Alright. Yeah. And she has foot pedals down there, her throttle, and this pretty nice control panel. Okay. We finally fixed the holes in our spacesuits. Remember how I upgraded all those buildings? I can get out of the vehicle in space now. So I will show you that with Valentina. Or that might not be a good idea. I'm going to quick save. That way, in case things go badly, we won't die instantly. Okay. So then we'll turn on her jetpack, and we'll back away from the rocket. Now this is how I got my channel thumbnail. Not thumbnail, but like my Google Plus account. I got out and got away from the rocket. Went like that. Did that. So yeah, that's how I got that. Okay, I need to go back before I die. Or drift away too far. I'm going to get an EVA report, and she gets science. And the nice thing about EVA reports is that you get a new one over every biome. So I'll get out in a few. I'll just store the data. Okay, so now she's grabbing on. And click Store Experiments. Then we're going to try to take another EVA report. Okay, then we're going to... okay, she's drifted off. We'll just hit Control and... Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay. I think we solved the issue. Oh no. The spacecraft is spinning. That could be very bad. Okay. I'm going to focus here. Come on. No. Valentina, I need you to get in. Good. She made it. Problem is when the pilot leaves the spacecraft, the SAS is shut off. So, that's not good. Anyways, we're going to look at our contracts. We got that one. Money, money, more money. We have to return them to get all the money, though. Anyways, I'm going to warp to around here. Now, we can't go super fast in time warping. I want to get out again, but it's just risky. Not when we only have one pilot on board to hold it straight, and not computers to help keep it straight. Alright, we're at a good enough point. I'm going to turn the rocket, and then reignite the engine, and then we'll come back down. Now there are certain mods where you can only light your engines like once or twice, but I don't have those. I can turn off the engine and turn it back on as many times as I want, but it's still nice to be realistic and do it as few times as possible. Alright, we're going to bring this down. If you remember in our capsule last episode when we went to orbit, we didn't quite go high enough. And, we went too high. But with an aircraft, we can use the wings to slow down. So we don't want to go down too deep. We also don't have a heat shield, so we've got to be careful in that area. Okay, that's good. And we'll time accelerate to the atmosphere. Now, about last episode, I got interrupted, and if you watch the episode, you'll hear why. One of my friends is really mad at me for mentioning the reason for me quitting the recording. I don't see why he was so mad at me, but then again, he's always mad at me, so I probably shouldn't care. He's probably going to be really mad at me after he hears this tomorrow. He's really funny. He's the one who made me start making these videos. I'm going to stop talking about him because he will get mad. Alright, so yeah, I had to stop the recording last episode, and when I tried to use iMovie to put them together, by the way, it took me like 3 or 4 hours to try to put them together into one video. It cut out like the whole bottom of the screen, like right here. Everything from this point down was cut off, and everything from like this point up was cut off. And the sides. It was horrible. So I just decided to upload the two raw files separately where they weren't cut off. So I can tell that threw a few of you off because the second part had more views than the first part, which means that you guys saw the second part, part 2, you thought, so you just watched it. It probably confused a few of you. But this will luckily be like one recording. Anyways, I'm going to pitch the spacecraft up, that means up and down, like this, so that in the thin atmosphere the air will hit it and slow us down. You can see that this number of our lowest point is falling, and hopefully we'll keep it at a good level. I'm actually going to come down a little bit now because we're starting to get a little bit deeper, and we don't want to slow down too much. That should be a safe point. Okay, my little brother's home from school now. If he's quiet enough, I won't pause the recording, but if he gets super loud, I will. I figured out how to do that. I don't have to stop the recording now. Apparently I can like hold Alt and then press the button on my recording software, and then it'll pause. Not very smart on the designer's parts to make it so hard to figure that out, but whatever. It is default recording software. So all Macs come pre-installed with recording software. It's called QuickTime Player. That's what I use. And it's kind of nice. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. It works. It gets the job done. You can see my videos. The quality's not all that bad. Yeah. So anyways, we're getting that plasma now that I mentioned. And without a heat shield, we've got to be careful. Now, the way that we don't die is to pitch up like this. And then the wings and their lift will pull the spacecraft up, which will actually slow us down. You can see our highest point is actually catching up with us. If we pitched up enough, we'd actually start going up again. And that keeps us out of the really thick part of the atmosphere just long enough so that we lose speed enough that when we do get into the thick part, it doesn't burn us instantly. Now you can see that the engine and this cockpit are starting to heat up. You can see the temperature gauge. That reminds me I'm going to quick save now because I do not want to die. Okay, I'm going to come up higher. Yeah. Alright. I'll time accelerate some more in here. Yep, see, we're probably going to start going back up. There are the mountains, and if we land right on the runway, we make a ton of money. And I might be able to steer it there, might not, it depends. Okay, we've slowed down quite a bit now. We're going about 1,600 meters per second, which translates to about 3,200 miles per hour. And, well, more like 3,400. But that's slow enough that the plasma's not going to be too hot, and we will be able to survive. And you can see the Space Center doesn't quite load in. It's kind of hovering there. Well, not anymore. But that continent, or that little peninsula that it's on, had not loaded, so it was just floating in midair, if you saw that. And you look closely enough. You can see it flickering there. So I need to turn. You can see I'm not on course with it. So I'm going to roll the spacecraft, and then pitch up in this direction. And that should be able to turn us. So we'll just keep on going. Alright, now that we're losing speed, we're going to do something different. We're going to go completely sideways, and we're going to turn off the reaction wheels, because that can be dangerous. And then I'm going to pitch up with just about everything that these control surfaces can do. And then that'll really slow us down. The idea of this that I'm doing now is to just slow us down a bunch. And if we're going slow enough, I can just dive straight down to the runway. You can see the G-force meter. We are losing speed quickly. And this is turning us. Okay. Alright, you can see the things. Okay, we definitely need the reaction wheels back. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to flip over because this is going to be high G, and negative Gs are much worse than positive ones. Because with negative Gs, all the blood is forced to your head, and then blood squirts out of your eyes and nose and ears, and that's just very unpleasant. You can hear about that with fighter pilots and things. Yeah, we're picking up a lot of speed. We're going faster than the speed of sound, but yeah. Positive G's, all the blood rushes to your feet, and it's unpleasant, but you can handle a lot more of them than negative ones before passing out. Better to have less blood in your brain than way too much, in my opinion. Oh, wow. We just pooled like 15 Gs there. Yeah, we just slowed down a lot. We're still going about the speed of sound. It's about 300 meters per second, but as these flickering goes away, well, it's gone now, we're good. So I'll time accelerate. Okay, I'm going to line up with the runway because I want to land on it for maximum science value. And then I'll flip over again, come down. Alright, we don't have to flip over anymore now because we're going slow enough that the G's won't rip their faces off, which would be quite unpleasant for them. Poor Kerbals. Okay, then I'm just going to hit the parachutes. And that'll bring us down. Then I'll use the reaction wheels to hopefully not destroy the engine. Alright, there we go. And we're down. So I will recover the vessel, and I'll show you how much money we save doing an airplane like that. 48 science, we can finally get struts. That's great. Okay. Here's recovered parts. We got $12,000 from recovered parts. That whole upper stage cost us nothing. We only paid for the first stage, which is amazing as far as rockets go. And then they got experience. So yeah. Then we got contracts. So we got reputation. Then we've finished their travel itinerary and theirs. And okay. Normally it says that they were really pleased with your contract. I mean, with their flight. But it doesn't. Maybe I got rid of it. Anyways, we are getting struts. Those are very important. Now we can build rockets that don't wiggle and snap in half like ours almost did. So yeah, we will build rockets like that in future episodes. But if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And please comment on anything and everything. I really want as much feedback as possible. I'm pretty sure by next episode, I will have a real microphone, and this will be fixed. Hopefully. There's a chance that there will be one more episode with this setup that I have, but probably not. Because they said 2 to 5 days, spend about 2 or 3. So yeah, it should be here by next episode. So have a nice day. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.